Hey, welcome back guys. So this is my comparison video for the Taranis X9D. We also have the new Taranis Q X7, as well as the Turnigy Evolution. I'm just going to give you my overall experiences with all three of these to help you decide which one would be better for you. I do want to say that I don't have any Spectrum products here. I have nothing against them. They are great products. It's just personally, I don't have a want or need for 4 to 5 different transmitters. But they are good products. Not only that, but I feel like I've mastered the Taranis transmitters. You can check out my X9D playlist where I have over 30 different videos showing you everything you need to know about this thing. And I'm actually making a full playlist for the Q X7 right after this. And I also have a full playlist for the Turnigy Evolution already up. I'll leave you links to all these playlists in the description below. Out of both Taranises, let's whittle down which one I recommend. First, let's talk about price. A long time ago, I purchased the X9D for about $210. I just recently picked up the Q X7. The cheapest one that I found was from ReadyMadeRC.com for $105, and with shipping and everything, I got it for $112 out the door and in my hands in 3 days. Another cheap place I found was Banggood for $110, but if you are in the United States, I would recommend paying the $2 extra with ReadyMadeRC because you'll get it in 3 to 4 days versus 2 to 3 weeks with Banggood. If you live anywhere other than the United States, then Banggood might be your better bet. Either way, I'll leave you links to both of them in the description so you can check them out there. The X9D does have a charge port on the side. It does come with a battery and battery charger. You just plug the battery charger into the side and it charges. The Q X7 does not have a charge port on the side. If you watched my last video, I showed you the battery tray that comes with it, and it holds 6 AA batteries. But I've actually removed that, and I'm using the Strix 3200 mAh lithium ion battery that ReadyMadeRC also sells for $18. I do recommend going that route because over time that would be cheaper than continuously putting AA batteries in this thing. The Turnigy Evolution, the cheapest place I've found was Hobby King. I picked this one up for $63. I don't know if they still sell for this price, couldn't tell you. I'm just looking at my receipt right now from back in November. This does come with a receiver, and I also purchased 3 additional receivers for about $10 each for a total of $91. Then with shipping, it was $18 for a grand total of $110 for the transmitter and 4 receivers, where this does not come with a receiver unless you purchase the package where it does come with a receiver, but I don't recommend doing that because I don't recommend the receiver that comes with it, at least for us multi-rotor guys. So the differences between these, besides the battery situation, this has a scrolly wheel to go through the menus. This has 6 individual buttons. I don't have a preference between the two. They both work great. The Q X7 has a headphone jack on top. The X9D does not. The X9D does come with a SD card. It's not that big, it's 1 GB, but you really don't need that much memory anyway. Where the Q X7 does have the SD card slot, but does not come with the SD card, so that is an additional expense. The X9D does have 2 additional switches on top versus the Q X7. It also has 2 of these scrolly things on the sides, where the Q X7 does not have that. I weighed both of these in the last video. This one came out to 700 something grams, this was 800 something grams, and the Turnigy Evolution was about 340 grams. So the Turnigy is 1/2 the weight of this and less than half the weight of the X9D. As far as everything else, it's pretty much exactly the same. The quality is the same, the gimbals are the same, switches are the same, even the menu is the same. So for that reason, if you already have a X9D, I do not recommend going with the Q X7 unless you just really want to. If you don't have one at all out of these two, I would recommend the Q X7 because, like I already said, they're both almost exactly the same, but this is 1/2 of the price. For the Turnigy Evolution, for quality, some guys will disagree with me, but I think the quality is great. It's amazing. I don't have any problems with the quality. I can't find anything wrong with it, therefore I have no problems with it. And even more guys will disagree with me on this one, but I have no problems at all with the gimbals. I think the gimbals are great. I'd even say the gimbals are just as good as the Taranis gimbals. But don't take my word for it. Watch other reviews, get other opinions on this. but I think they work great. Guys have a lot of other complaints with this, but I don't find it to be justified. The reason I say this is because they complain that the menu and layout is very basic. They also complain that of the lack of switches, because you have one right here, you have two on the back, and a scrolly wheel right here. They also complain about the lack of telemetry, because this only gets voltage in the telemetry. I say these complaints are unjustified because I don't think they quite understand what this is used for. This was made just for multi-rotors, not just for multi-rotors, but for racing and acrobatic flying. In those situations, for freestyle flying and racing, I only use one switch, and that's arm. That's it. I don't even use these switches on the back. I don't complain about the basic menu and layout because, once again, you don't need a bunch of stuff for freestyle flying and racing. I don't complain about the only getting voltage in the telemetry compared to the transmitters because, yes, I used to care a lot about telemetry. That's why I loved the X9D so much back in the day, but that was when on-screen displays sucked. But nowadays, they're awesome. In fact, OSDs are so good that I stopped using telemetry completely. So even with these, and with all the telemetry features at my disposal, I still don't use it. Matter of fact, when I connect my receivers, I cut off the telemetry wire completely because I don't use it. This is my go-to transmitter. This is my favorite of all three. But I will say that that is because I am a thumber, and also because I understand what it's made for. Obviously, my large GPS builds, I use my transmitters for that. For my planes, gliders, cars, boats, I use the trans for that. But for freestyle flying and racing, I use this, and I absolutely love it because, like I said, I'm a thumber. I've been playing video games my entire life, and this feels just like an Xbox controller. Matter of fact, I've added in these 3 printed things on top of the sticks to make it feel even more like a video game controller. So my performance, handling, and overall flight is much, much better when I use this compared to when I use one of the Taranises. Now, if you are a pincher, then it's the exact opposite. I don't recommend this. The reason I say that is because when you pinch with this, the way you hold your hand is incredibly awkward. Not only that, but it actually hurts your hand holding it in this position for a prolonged period of time. The third reason is because you see how close the sticks get to the case itself. Your finger actually gets stuck in between there. So when you try to go full throttle or full pitch, you can't go full throttle and full pitch because your finger gets in the way. Unless you pinch it from like the very top, like a crab or something, but then it's even more awkward to hold, and it's actually hurting my wrist right now. Now, my one complaint I do have with the Turnigy Evolution is the receivers. When it comes to receivers, FrSky wins hands down. They have way more of a selection. They've got over 20 different types of receivers, so you can pick one out for your exact application. For us multi-rotor guys, it used to be the D4R2 was the go-to receiver. This is now outdated. I don't recommend it because this uses PPM. This was surpassed by the X4R SB, which is the same exact size, same dimension, same pinout, except you get S-Bus, which is faster than PPM. You also get smart port telemetry versus the analog telemetry, and a little bit more. And then that was surpassed by the XSR, which is pretty much the same as the X4R SB, it's just smaller. But same features, same functions, same range, same everything. Recently, we even picked up the XM and the XM Plus. This is the XM. The XM Plus has 2 antennas instead of 1. This is rated at 400 meters. XM Plus is a full range receiver, so it gets the same range as the XSR and X4R SB. These are much smaller though because they eliminated the circuitry needed for telemetry. So if you are someone that does want telemetry, I will recommend the XSR because that's going to be the smallest one with all the functions and features and range. But if you are like me and you don't give a squat about telemetry, then I'll recommend the XM Plus. For the Turnigy Evolution, like I said, the number of receivers are very limited. This is the one that comes with it, the Turnigy IA6C. Out of the 3 that I've used, this is the one I recommend. This is a FlySky receiver. I can't remember the name of it, but I don't recommend it because it actually has a bunch of JST connectors on it. I've removed them, obviously, but it's bigger, bulkier, and there's really no point in it. because you have the IX6C. The third one is the A8S, which is, it has one antenna like the XM receiver, but it's a little bit bigger than the XM Plus, and it kind of sucks. I use it on my micro-sized brush builds, but nothing more than that. As far as range, FrSky also wins in range. It's not by much, and I'm not saying the range with the Turnigy Evolution is bad. I don't even know what the range is because I've never flown that far away. It's a long ways, but the way I see it, if you're using this for what it's intended for, free soft flying and racing, you're not flying that far away anyway. So as far as what do I recommend, I'll say in the slight chance that you are a thumber and you only plan on doing free soft flying and racing, then I highly recommend the Turnigy Evolution, because if you're a thumber, if you're like me, I get way better flight and performance with this. If you are a pincher and you only plan on doing free soft flying and racing, then go with the Q X7. If you plan on doing more than free soft flying and racing, say a large GPS multi-rotor, airplane, glider, car, boat, whatever, then once again I recommend the Q X7. If for whatever reason the Q X7 does not have enough switches, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is 8, if you need more than 8 switches for some reason, then I would recommend the X9D, because it has 12. But you're going to pay twice as much money for those couple extra switches, so that's something you have to consider. And that's pretty much it. So I hope this helped you out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.